Hello and welcome to the Summer Sessions, a podcast where we revisit movies from our childhood. It's a show where we talk about our nostalgia behind these movies, how they got made, and just how well they hold up when rewatching them in the present day. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and joining me as always, Matthew Pelton.
Aw, it feels good to hear that. I feel like I say that every time, but I actually mean it this time.
It's nice. It's a nice, interesting start to the summer because we haven't done this in a hot second.
It's been what? Has it been a month? Or a close?
I would say probably roughly a month.
Yeah, because I know finale, came out the 9th, I think?
Something like that, yeah.
But we recorded on Monday. Those came out back in the day. Those came out Friday. All those years ago.
Yeah. And a lot has happened since then.
Yes. Not to mention,
like
by the way, that we're on Zoom right now.
Right. We're like thousands of miles apart right now.
Yeah, we're not in the same state.
It's very interesting. Yeah, we're definitely not in underground Anson.
Rest in peace. The good old days.
Yeah, literally. But I guess we could just kind of go over what has happened in the past month
since the finale.
So. Yeah, and just kind of catch up and chat a bit before we talk about our movie today.
Yeah, 'cause we've done a lot.
We've done a lot. So I guess as far as Greenlit goes, we are very honored and pleased and just very excited to announce that we won an Evie.
We did. We won Outstanding Radio Program.
We won an Evie. This is like insane for us as a show because we're so new to the game.
And it's our first time.
Yeah, it felt very strange, like going up there and giving a speech and doing all that fun stuff.
It did. I know. Well, I think we announced that we were nominated last episode. Mm-hmm. But for those who don't know, or those who didn't listen to it, an Evie is kind of like the big end-of-year Emerson College Awards ceremony. Mm-hmm. So, listen, just between the two of us, Nick, I didn't think we had a shot at all.
Yeah, no way. It was freaking me out.
Yeah, we were brand new. Like, when you were like, hey, let's submit Greenlit, I'm like, are you out of your mind? Mm-hmm. We had 3 episodes, and one of them was lost.
Well, yeah. We had... Well, I think up until the point that we submitted, we had... Or until the submissions
submission date,
Yeah, we had 4 episodes. One of them was gone.
Yeah.
And then one of them was like not a great episode. Which it ended up not even being nominated.
Yeah, because it was what? Shark Boy?
It was Hop.
It was Hop, right. It was Hop and then Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. And also, funny enough, last night, and we'll get into this because I am in Florida. But I was in Disney Springs with a group of people. Well, one of my new roommates. But we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
And she was like, dude, I don't know how it got brought up, but she was like, you guys know the Cat in the Hat? And I was like, the live action version?
Oh,
She's
no.
Like, yeah. And I was like, what about it? She was like, it's like one of my favorite movies of
all time. No.
I was like, no, please, no.
We proved that incorrect. That has to be shut down.
I was like crying, laughing.
One of my favorite movies.
Sure. She was like, yeah, Mike Myers is awesome. And I was like, hell yeah. I was all for it. I was like, this is amazing to hear from an outsider.
Did you?
And then I told her about the show.
I was going to say, did you confess?
I did. I was like, I didn't like it, but teach their own, I guess.
You can listen to an hour of us ranting about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cat in the Hat. That's disgusting.
It was wild, but yeah. So we ended up winning for Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah, our first ever episode won.
Our first ever episode.
Yeah,
and we've touched on this in the past, but the structure of that episode, it blows me away that one won.
I know.
Because I feel like even in the Hop episode, we like kind of had our structure down.
Yeah. You could tell it was our first go around.
Yeah. But I don't know, maybe it was like the first time charm? Like I don't exactly know what happened, but
I guess.
I'm not complaining. I'm cool with it. Yeah, it was awesome.
So when we won, because I know we kind of talked about this a little bit. Mm. But the way the Emmys worked is all the nominees were in like the first 4 to 6 rows kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's it's me, you, and Maddie, your girlfriend, and we're all up front. And we learned pretty quickly that they have all these cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And when they're announcing the nominees, they want the reaction of when they say who won.
Right.
So they point the camera at the winner immediately.
Right.
So they would say a category.
Because they got to get their shot.
Yeah, they got to get the shot. So they would say the category and be like, okay, best student director. And before they're done, I'm like, oh, she won.
Yeah.
Like, camera's pointed right at her.
And then sure enough, they say the name and the people are, they're surprised, but they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of figured because you've been pointing the camera right in my face.
Right.
So when we caught on to that, I remember I had like this gut, like, uh-oh. Because when they announce our category, just look for the camera and we'll know. Mm-hmm. And I think I also said this to you night of the Emmys, but part of me was like shitting my pants. So I kind of didn't want to win. Because I was so scared. I was like, I cannot get up there and say anything. I had nothing prepared. I had no speech.
Yeah, that's the thing is like when Maddie and I were at the gala, which is basically like the Emmys to the Oscars. It's like a smaller event version of the Emmys. But so when Maddie and I were at the gala, we were sitting there in the very back.
Oh, you were back.
Like just all the very back of the room, but just shitting our pants. We were like, well, what if I win? Because then I have to go up to the front. I have to get up in front of everyone to say something. And it was like a tiny room too, so it wasn't even like I could just look out into just like nothing.
No, you're staring at.
Like I was making direct eye contact. Yeah.
That's tough.
So that was freaky. So I think by the time we got to the Color Majestic, which is the theater where the event was.
Yeah, big one.
Yeah, it was a massive, whatever it is, 1,100 person theater, and maybe more, maybe I don't know, roughly there.
Around, yeah.
And and we get there, and I was terrified, but I was like, well, I kind of already went through the trauma.
You're a vet. You've been through.
And I was like, you know what? If I don't win, I'm okay with that. But if we do, great. I'll just say my piece and I'll get out of here.
No problem.
And earlier in the day, I made it a point to write a speech because I was like, I'm going to get up there, I'm going to be nervous, I'm going to pull out my phone, and then I'm going to read it.
I probably should have done that.
Sure enough, we won. We get up there, forgot I had written anything, and I just kind of went off the dome. And then I rewatched the speech, and I was like, oh, we did great. We both did fine.
Did. Oh, I haven't rewatched it. I've been too scared.
It was, I was terrified. But then my grandparents actually called me afterwards, and they were like, oh, you were so, like, well-spoken.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't believe you, like, did that
I can't believe it got greenlit.
It got greenlit at all, and it was insane. No, but they were like very proud of both of us because they just pointed out like how well spoken we were. It was kind of awesome.
That's awesome because I had nothing prepared, and then you're right. You did such a good job, and you went first. So you went first. Had this beautiful little message, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so fucked. I'm so
you did great. You had the nice little button with Jonah, so that was nice.
Yeah, that was just in the moment. I was like, who should I thank besides like my dad? And I was like, oh, right. Jonah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, our first guest.
Yeah, exactly. And so.
But anyway, the cameras.
Oh yes.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But hey, this is summer sessions, no rules, dude.
Hell yeah.
So when they point the cameras at the winner, that's how you knew. So when they said outstanding radio program and they started listing the nominees, there was no camera towards us. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, like we're good. I'm okay. Like I took a deep breath. I'm like, I'm fine.
It's not even like they were pointed like down, like the person wasn't ready. She was like fully up with the camera person.
Yeah, to
pointed
other
at
people.
Someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, we lost. Like that's totally cool. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted to lose anyway. Like I'm happy at this moment. And then about like halfway through the nominees, all of a sudden she starts turning towards us a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, fuck. But the people sitting in front of us were also nominated for the same category. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I had already accepted defeat. So I'm like, oh, they won. Mm. And then all of a sudden, they go in the winner is and they say our fucking name.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, God. Dude. And then if you watch the video again, you see my girlfriend Maddie. She is sobbing immediately. She was like if you watch the video, you can barely see her because it's so like dark in the audience. But like you see us get up, but if you look in the corner, there's just like a little blurry version of Maddie just crying,
just weeping,
and like her hands go over her face, and yeah. It was very funny.
Oh, dude, it was like a genuine surprise. I really thought we lost, and I was so willing to accept that.
Yeah, and I'm glad we won. Shout out to WCB for letting us get that opportunity, and the Evvies and Fallon for putting on a great show. That was awesome. It was a fun night.
To everyone who worked on the Evvies, they really did a good job. I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, so that's something. We won. This is an award-winning show.
I know.
Well, I guess the other version of it. This is technically a different.
This one
Whatever, it's all the same.
They'll all be winners. Who cares?
Yeah, it's all good.
Next
it's
round of
podcast.
Emmys.
We'll see.
And I will say, I know, because people ask me this question all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So just in case, because now me and you know the answer, is if you win an Emmy, maybe this goes for the Oscar too. It probably does. But if you win an Emmy for a thing with multiple people, do you only get one or do you get multiple? Found out the hard way, we only get one.
Yeah. I remember watching the previous live streams, and I told you that when we were still at the suite.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh, that sucks, but
you only get one. So, Emmys were nice. Like, hey, you can order a duplicate. So I do have one incoming. But, made me pay for it. A little messed up.
It was, it was, I mean, it's understandable though, because they
I totally get it. Yeah.
Especially there was a category that every single nominee had 20-something people.
It was crazy.
And I can only imagine if the Emmys ordered all of those awards.
Oh, it's a fortune. You can't.
It would be insane.
It's impossible.
So yeah, I'm thankful for that opportunity and the win. It was fun.
It was pretty cool. Yeah, award-winning show.
I was blown away. But anyways, so with that out of the way, my computer starting to freak out.
What's happening?
No, it's okay. It's just the fans are going on. They're going crazy. It's all over Zoom, We got all the tabs open. We got the Zoom going. We got the audio recording.
Yeah,
it's crazy. This thing's gonna shut. This thing's gonna blow up.
There's only one episode of Summer Sessions.
It's gonna sail out my computer's currently resting on my thighs, and my thighs are burning.
You don't have a desk or anything there?
I do, but it's like this weird rollable one that kind of rolls under your bed and then over your bed. It's this, and it kind of goes like this, and your bed's here.
Okay.
But it just doesn't work. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
It's very strange.
You can't do the microphone.
I could move, but then that means I would have no backrest. So I might switch to that after a bit, but we'll see.
Which is what I'm dealing with, because I have a backrest on my chair, but I'm so hunched over for the microphone and the computer.
Yeah.
When this is done, I'm just gonna go lie on the ground for 3 hours.
I was gonna say
rest.
I'm hoping that we record this whole episode and my audio, or I guess both of our audio, is salvageable and we can actually put this together. But I guess we'll see. This is like the Shark Boy and Lava Girl episode of the Summer Sessions.
Yeah, so just figure it out.
And this will win.
I was like, this will be the one that wins.
Yeah. So if you are an Evie's judge and you're listening to this right now, we love you very much.
Yes.
We are sorry that you're currently listening to all these episodes.
Yes.
We would love it if we won. No. But anyways, so I figured with the Summer Sessions, for those of you who have listened to Greenlit, you know that one of our biggest complaints and one of the biggest downfalls of the show was that we only had a 55-minute, if that, time slot.
Yeah.
And now, for some of the episodes, it actually worked out in our favor because either we didn't have enough to say, or we kind of, we sped through everything, but it was nicely paced.
Yeah, it was perfect sometimes.
With the summer session, With the summer sessions, our goal was to kind of just take it slow, go, let everything breathe, let us, get the actual conversation in.
Yeah.
And hopefully, the slower pacing and, getting to talk about more stuff works out, and hopefully, this is all good.
Hopefully.
But
listen, people could listen to this, and after 55 minutes, they're like, I am sick of these two.
Yeah, that's true.
We turn this off, please?
We could be really entertaining for 55 minutes, but once you hit that 56-minute mark,
it's game over.
It might be horrendous.
Yeah.
But so what I wanted to do, and I guess going forward, we don't have to call it out as much, but just kind of catch up, because we have kind of... We filmed a movie recently.
Yeah, we made a whole movie.
We'll talk about that in a second, but since then, it's kind of been just madness, nonstop, go.
Yeah.
And we kind of just went separate ways for the summer, which obviously just happens to people at college. But yeah, how's life been? So, okay, let's talk about Toad first.
Yeah, we'll start with movie, and then, because we were with each other for the movie.
Right, because we left school, we had a couple of days to kind of just... I packed for Florida. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing the Disney College program, so I'm currently in Florida.
Round 2.
Did I tell you my job got changed?
What? No.
Yeah. Oh, dude, for the better.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to in order.
Yeah.
So, movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got lost there.
Yeah.
So, from like right up until after finals, it was just pure chaos. So finals hit. Nick, you went back to Connecticut.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I stayed in Boston.
Right.
Yeah, I did extended housing. A couple of people were there. Especially there was like some people we're living with are taking off to LA next semester. So who knows the next time we're going to see them. So I was like, I'll stay, do whatever I got to do. I was still working on finals anyway. I still had big projects. And then just madness hit. So it was, you came up for the Evvies. I had to pack my whole dorm room, go to the Evvies, drive all the way home, unpack my dorm room. And then I had 5 days to make a movie. And then you left to Florida. And then since then, it's been internship editing and craziness.
Right.
Yeah, it's been
you have your internship.
madness.
Yeah, it's been crazy. But yes, because I went back to Connecticut, came up for the Evvies, and then basically we were roommates for like 5 days.
You stayed at my house.
I stayed at your house, and we shot for 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days of shooting, and then it was you stayed for the day before and the day after.
Right.
So 5 days in total.
5 days total.
Yeah.
And and then we edited a little bit of it together, as much as we could. We stayed up till 3 a.m. most nights.
We did.
And then I took off for Florida, and that's pretty much where we're at. You're doing your internship. You're also editing, and I'm remotely advising editing.
Yeah, pretty much the way it works. I'll finish a scene and then FaceTime Nick or like send it to him on Google Drive. I'm like, hey, what do you think? And then I like to picture you sit down with your girlfriend with like a little thing of popcorn, like you have your little drinks, like put on the TV.
Essentially, last night we did do that. I mean, no popcorn or drinks, but we were in bed and we pulled it up on the computer and we both just kind of watched it together. It was fun. It was
both
nice.
Cried because it was so good.
You sobbed. We were like,
it's just a solid editor.
Amazing. Yeah.
Now, should we talk about the kind of because a lot of stuff happened on that set.
Sure.
You want to?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, okay. So it was 5 days. It was 3 days of shooting, and obviously been in pre-production for this. I think before Greenlit started.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. Yes.
Yeah. So we've been in pre-production for a while.
I almost forgot that happened. But yes, go.
We'll start with okay, so I'll get there. So we've been in pre-production, I think, since what? I think I finished the script November, December. So pretty much, it obviously went through a couple drafts, but pretty much from there. So at this point, we have full cast, full crew, lodging, housing, locations, equipment, everything is done. So our shooting days are the 14th, 15th, and 16th, I think. So the 13th, Nick was like, hey, I'll come to your house. We'll have a whole day of setting up equipment, charging everything, playing around, figuring everything out so we know what we're doing come set. And also, our sound girl, Vic, was also with us. So there were 2 hiccups that day. One
pretty big ones.
Pretty big ones. One was pretty big, and we thought it was the biggest hiccup you could probably have. And then a bigger one hit right after that.
Which we couldn't have seen coming, and I don't know how we recovered from it.
Nope, it was miracles. So, do you want to describe the first hiccup?
Sure. So, the first thing is we rented all this equipment that we got from a website called Lens Rentals. And from what we had heard, it was like the best renting equipment website that there is.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, great. Yeah, this is awesome. This is wonderful. And we get all of the equipment. We're setting it up. And, I'm doing camera because I was the cinematographer on the film. Yeah. Along with editor, producer, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But so, my main thing was camera stuff. So I was setting up my camera stuff. I was like, great. This is all great. Half the stuff I didn't really know what it was, but whatever.
That's kind of the beauty of trying to figure it all out. We had a whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then Vic showed up, and she was working on her sound stuff. And she didn't have a ton of equipment, to be fair.
No, yeah.
But one of the major things was the sound recorder, the thing that literally captures the audio. It had no battery. And
not like it didn't come with one. There was just nowhere to put a battery.
Right. And it was kind of rough because on the website it did say like you have to separately order the specific battery that it uses.
Yeah.
But it's like in such small fine print that we kind of just missed it.
Yeah, you really had to go digging for it to find that.
Right. And so we were like, oh, okay, cool. So what do we do?
Yeah,
and
like,
so we
now
kind of
what?
just like on the fly just did some like last minute producing, and we went to Best Buy. We went to the Geek Squad in Best Buy, which was so fun. We talked to a guy named Alex. Alex is our hero.
Yeah, legend.
And he basically pointed us in the direction of like, okay, here's what I could do, but it wasn't really enough. So we were like, okay, it's fine. Yeah. And then he was like, well, you could just buy a new audio recorder.
Yeah.
Go over to like the sales associates on the other side. They'll help you out. So we go over there. The audio recorders are not what we were looking for. So we're like, shoot, what do we do? So we go back over to Alex and we're like, hey, what if, do you guys have like extension cords? Yeah, because we were shooting in like the forest. Yeah. So we were like, maybe we can hook up the power to the car and power the audio recorder through the car, which is a wild idea.
We were getting really desperate at this point.
We were, and then we were like, well, what if we just got a generator? And then we were like, no, too expensive.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, what if we got like a battery pack that we could just like attach
like an external meant for like your phone or something.
Exactly. And then we were like, well, why didn't we just think of that to begin with?
Yeah.
And so then Alex pointed us in the right direction. We got one of those, and sure enough, thank Christ, it worked.
Yeah.
And then if you want to take over,
yeah,
that was crazy.
That one we all were like, hey, that was pretty bad, but we figured it out. We out-geeked the Geek Squad. Big moment. They didn't think about that. We did. We won. And for a couple hours, it seemed like we had no sound, but we got sound. So we go back to the house. At this point, we also had to buy a toad from Petco, but that's a different story for a different day.
Right.
And we're setting up everything. And again, I remember to the day I died. But Nick is in the living room with all your camera equipment on the ground. Doing everything. And Vic's in the kitchen setting up the Toad's cage, who we named Alex after our lovely Best Buy guy.
Yeah.
So she's hooking up Alex the Toad. You're doing your thing. And I'm just like little writer director guy. So like I'm just kind of walking around trying to provide entertainment to everyone. And all of a sudden my phone goes off. And it's a text from our actor who's playing the lead. There's 2 co-leads in this. She's one of them. And I get a text. And immediately I get nervous. Because it starts with, hey, so I just got out of the ER. I've been there all day.
That's like, a wild text.
It's a wild text.
Well, in general, but also specifically the night before filming.
Less than 24 hours before filming. She's been our actor since December. All of a sudden, she's like, I've been in the ER all day. She's like, I woke up this morning and my face was feeling super numb. She couldn't control it. So she went to the ER, and sure enough, she has Bell palsy, which is when like half your face is just paralyzed.
Right.
And she's our lead actor. Like she's an actor. She's an actor and model, and her face is paralyzed. What the fuck? Yeah. So
it was incredibly sad, and we started freaking out because we were like, what do we do?
Yeah, what do we do? So she didn't drop it immediately. So we were like, listen, screw the movie. Are you okay? First of all, like, how are you doing? And she's like, physically, I feel fine. Just mentally, this is tough because it's literally my job. I can't do now. So sure enough, we FaceTimed her to kind of see how it looked. And between the two of us, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I thought we could make it work.
Yeah, you thought we could make it work. And again, you're the DP, so I really trusted you. I was like, if he thinks we can make it work, then I think we can make it work.
Right.
But sure enough, like at 2 a.m, I got a text from her saying like, hey, I'd rather not. I think mentally I should just sit this one out. Right. So we lost our lead actor with 10 hours left till we're on set.
Yeah, which...
So honestly, what the fuck do you do?
Honestly, thank God that Vic ended up staying at your house.
Dude, if she wasn't there... So Vic...
Well, that was both of our problems got solved because she was in her house.
Yeah, so if Vic wasn't there, our lovely sound person who got upgraded, if she wasn't there, we wouldn't have known that there was no battery. And if she wasn't there, she wouldn't have dropped my favorite sentence of all time. You know, I do have some acting experience. And sure enough, we watched her thing, and we had no choice, so she became our lead actor. And dude, she crushed it.
Oh, I was worried just in general because I was like, well, it's last minute. She has to learn lines,
for sure. Like
literally on set, she has to like learn
she had the script on her phone. Like I don't know the next
and
line.
everything. Yeah, it was crazy. And we were filming, and after some of the takes, I was like, dude,
she's really good.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, she was fantastic.
We got so lucky. Like again, if she was not part of the crew, there would be no movie. Like we would have spent all that money, lost it, and just had to, just that could have been such a nightmare of a story. But we got so lucky.
Yeah, she just has such a just a kind presence in general. So it was nice because she stepped in. She learned the lines, and her delivery on the lines was like exactly how I pictured it when I read the script.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So we filmed and it went well, and now we're in the post-production process.
Yes.
And yeah. And anyways,
what just happened over there?
There's a little, I don't even know, a golf cart thing. I don't know. Anyways,
there's a golf cart.
So, yeah. Well, it's like a maintenance guy.
Oh,
the maintenance cart.
I keep forgetting you're like at Disney, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of a good jumping off point.
Little segue.
Yeah. So I just spent the last 3 days driving from Connecticut to Florida,
which is crazy.
It was crazy, but it was not terrible because I drove. So I woke up at 7 on Saturday.
When did you leave my house again?
Thursday. Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had a couple days. I saw my my grandparents. I saw my hometown friends, and I spent some time with my family. And then it was all very, very nice. Yeah. Finished packing, and then hit the road at 7 on Saturday. Got to Virginia, the Virginia Welcome Center, at 2:30. And then Sam and Maddie, I've said this 100 times, Maddie's my girlfriend, Sam is her twin sister, and they're both doing the program with me.
Yeah.
And so they met me at the Virginia Welcome Center. They were coming from Pennsylvania, so we kind of just picked the best route, the best place to meet up. And so it was there.
Okay,
and
makes sense.
We went from Virginia all the way to South Carolina in one day.
Damn.
Which from Connecticut to South Carolina, if you don't know, is 13 hours. So not including traffic or stopping, we drove for 13 hours.
That's crazy.
In one day. Yeah. And then we stopped at a True Hotel, which is basically Hilton's version. I guess I don't know why I tried to compare it to something. I don't exactly know how to compare it. But it's basically designed for people like us who just know we're getting there late, leaving early. There's no other.
It's a quick.
It's just a room. That's all you need.
Yeah, get out.
And so we did that, and then we got up. We drove the rest of the way, and then our friend Philip, who works at Disney currently, we met him last program. He got us a hotel on property. It was the All-Star Sports Resort, and he got it with his cast member discount, and then we split it 3 ways. So for a night at a Disney resort, I myself only paid $30.
That's it?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
It was ridiculous. And we were you have the main bed, you have the Murphy bed pulled down, and it's all Disney themed, and it was wonderful. We had the main channel on the TV up, and
nice.
They had a nice little pool. It was great.
So that's not where you are right now, right?
No.
Okay.
So then we stayed there actually the night before move-in. So that was Sunday night, and then yesterday we woke up and got breakfast at the resort, and then we moved into Flamingo Crossings Village, which is the campus that I'm on right now.
Oh, okay.
And so we get here, and Maddie and I linked on the dorm's website.
Yeah.
So we were hopefully we were gonna be in the same apartment and hopefully on the same side of the apartment, because basically how it works is there's 4 bedrooms in each apartment, or there's 4 people in each apartment, and there's 3 different kinds of apartments you can have. So there's a 4x2, which is 4 beds, 2 baths. So 2 people have separate rooms, but they share a bathroom.
Yeah.
On each side of the apartment.
Yeah.
There's a 4x4, which is 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, which means everyone has their own room, own bathroom. It's great, but it's very expensive. They are priced differently. Yeah. And there's a 2x2, which is 2 bed, 2 bath, but 4 people. So it's basically a double. It's like a double dorm room with a shared bathroom. So you share the room, share the bathroom, which kind of sucks. But we get down here. Maddie and I are linked, so we're okay, worst case, we're in the same apartment, just different sides. We're not sharing a bathroom.
Yeah.
So we get down, We check in. We get our numbers. We're like, okay, great. We're in the same room. Great. We're in the same side of the room. Okay. I wonder who our roommates are going to be. Because it's two random people.
Yeah, those you can't link up.
Because you can't link up with anyone else. So now you're going to say that this is crazy. And you could already tell where this is going. Sam gets hers. And we're like, what building are you in? Because we're in building 10.
Okay.
And so she goes, I'm in building 10. And we go, oh, no way. That's crazy. Like, there's obviously no way. There's 600 people that moved in today. There's no way that you're going to be in the same apartment. And so she's like, all right, it's 10, and then the room is 110. And we're like, shut the fuck up.
Is that your room?
It's our room. She's our freaking roommate.
That's wild.
It's crazy. So now it's me, Maddie, on one side, Sam's on the other side, and we have another roommate on the other side who we all went out to dinner with her last night. She's very sweet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's very cool. I think Sam and her are at the parks right now because she had like a comp ticket. But Maddie and I had a bunch to do today, including this. So we just stayed home and we just ran some errands.
Now, did you guys end up doing a 2-2, 4-2?
Oh, I'm sorry. We did a 4-2. So we all have our
okay.
own bedrooms, but Maddie and I share a bathroom, and Sam and
the roommate.
Oh God, yeah, I think it's Maida.
Okay.
Maida, something like that.
They share a bathroom too.
They share a bathroom. Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's a nice space. I mean, it's a little bit smaller than my old one, but this is like better than anything I've ever lived in.
It's great.
Yeah,
you got good people. Who cares?
It's awesome. But so we moved in, and then we all went out to Disney Springs, and we got dinner, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And now today we're just running errands, and then it's been very rainy, just because like Florida in the summer is just like rain it's like rain from like 2 p.m. to 4, and then that's it. But it's like sunny the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's just like pure sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like very weird because it's like right now it's like getting to that point where I can tell it's gonna start pouring in there. But no, it's been nice. It's just the rain and also my eyes have not adjusted to my glasses yet, and that's been pretty rough.
I forgot you got a new prescription too.
Yeah, I've been fighting this for almost 6 months because like I went to the eye doctor in like January. And there's still like it's like a third new prescription. It's just a mess.
Damn.
But so I went to the eye doctor today, and hopefully it'll get better in the next week.
Dang, well, let's say if it doesn't, you're stuck in Florida. So
exactly.
No glasses.
But yeah, and then we'd be it'd be wrong to not mention that you have an internship for the summer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We could say that quickly before this Zoom ends.
We're going to stitch these two Zooms together. Because we're doing the show for free. I want people to know just how cheap the show is. Yeah, I have a remote video editing internship with a company called Echo Kids.
Nice.
Which every time I say that, people are like, "What the hell is that?" Basically, it's kind of cool. It's a little school in Cambridge that teaches music to like underprivileged kids in the local area. Mm-hmm. And I think all the faculty, all the teachers are like Berkeley kids that are like fresh out of college, not really sure what to do. And it's just like, hey,
that's cool.
Yeah, you get to like teach there for a couple years. I think it's also run by Berkeley kids too that just kind of put this together.
Yeah.
Like my boss is only like 4 years older than we are. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We meet once a week. I just have a little video I got to do. It's all remote, so I can be anywhere. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, that's sweet. But yeah, that was fun. I like catching up a little bit before
little summer catch up.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess. But again, we're gonna have to pause this and restart.
Yeah.
And I can edit around all that, but whatever. I guess we can kind of just go right into our topic of conversation today.
Our actual movie.
So today, to start the summer sessions, this is Pelton's film.
Yes.
We are covering the 2007 cult classic, I would say, because I loved this movie as a kid. As a preface.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's a film called Surf's Up.
Goddamn right it is.
Hell yeah. I'm pumped to be doing this because it's a nice entryway into summer.
It's literally summer sessions we're doing Surf's Up. Like that can't get any better.
And I'm very happy that we're not doing a DreamWorks movie. So thank God. It's a nice. Nothing against DreamWorks. It was just the back-to-back-to-back.
It was starting to freak us out a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so do we want to just start with childhood stories? Do you want to go first, just because you picked the movie?
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of forgot how this show works. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have all my little notes lined up here. I also have a fun little segment towards the end that I wanted to introduce just for the summer sessions, but we'll get to
Ooh, I don't know about this. Okay.
It's silly and it's whatever. It'll take 2 seconds, but I think it's fun.
It's going to be the best segment of the show. Childhood Stories, again, it's 2007, so it was during that era where my dad would just take us to every single movie under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I saw this in theaters, but my only memory of this, and I probably should have Googled it before I say this publicly, is I'm pretty sure they had a McDonald's Happy Meal crossover.
Dude.
They did,
that was
right?
One of my first notes.
Yes.
Is the McDonald's toys was 100% something that I remembered.
Dude, me and my brother got those toys, and for the whole, I don't know, I think this movie came out over the summer, because I have a memory of the whole summer, and we traveled a lot that summer.
Oh yeah, I think it was May.
They're perfect.
Pretty sure.
Dude, we brought those toys everywhere. We were obsessed.
Yeah.
And I think he had the chicken. I think I had the main guy.
Uh-huh.
And man, we'd be in our hotel room surfing around the walls and the floors. And Mom's like, dude, we're in a resort. There's a beautiful pool over there. You guys are inside playing with your Surf's Up McDonald's toys? We're like, best summer ever.
You guys could have taken them out to the pool and went actually surfing.
We refused. Absolutely not.
That's wild. It's funny you say that because I was talking to a couple of my friends who are actually in Florida just visiting by chance.
Oh, no way.
On a school trip, and it just so happened to be
at
like when we moved down. Yeah, it was perfect. But anyways, I was talking to her yesterday, and actually just like the whole group, but I was like, hey, do you guys remember this movie? Because we're covering it tomorrow on the show. And they were like, oh my god, yeah, is that the one? They had a McDonald's crossover, right?
Yes.
It was like the main topic of conversation. And I was like, this is a crazy thing.
Dude, it was a staple.
People just remember.
One of the best Happy Meal toys of all time.
It really is. And like I think that was like one of the only ones that I like really collected. And I had like a lot of them.
Do you?
I think so. From what I remember, it was like that and Chicken Little. I had like a bunch of them.
It might have been lost at this point, but...
Yeah. Well, I don't own them still, but I remember just like going back and like, wanting to get more. No, I don't collect them.
If you went to your room, you still have Surf's Up McDonald's toys. Like, hey, okay.
No. Yeah. But so... Was that all you remember from your childhood with this movie?
Oh, it's weird because I remember so little about the movie, besides like the Big Z twist, quote unquote twist.
Sure.
But like even when a couple years, I didn't watch it, but somehow it got brought up a couple years ago in college. And they're like, oh, isn't that the mockumentary about penguins? And I was like, no, it's the Penguin Surf movie. And they showed me a clip, and I was like, oh, it's a documentary? Like I forgot that was the whole setup.
Another thing, you took the words right out of my mouth. This is like a thing that I picture. This exactly what you said. I couldn't have said it better. It was a thing that like I vividly remember it being a movie and not specifically a mockumentary.
100%.
And then I go to watch, or I'm sorry, I was doing notes before I watched the movie, just on production, and it was like, oh, it's this mockumentary, and I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
No, it's not.
This Wikipedia page is incorrect. All the other ones are factually accurate, but this one's wrong.
This one's wrong.
I was very upset with them.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know why that didn't resonate. Maybe I just did. I was so little, I just didn't know like what making movies or mockumentaries. Maybe it was just too high concept. Who knows?
I think so. But then when I watched the movie, I actually watched it this morning because I've had no time.
So did I.
But so I started, and you know how it starts like with Cody like getting up on the thing.
Yeah, I'm a little box.
They do the documentary like exact format, and they have the slate and they have everything.
So what we just did like a week ago.
Yeah, I remembered all of that. But it didn't fully like come back until I watched it. So I was like, oh,
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my experience. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I remember liking this movie a lot, but it's like the whole like I don't remember it as a mockumentary, and also I don't know where I saw it for the first time, but I remember that I saw it multiple times. Like, I remember loving this thing, and like, and I watched it a bunch. I think it was also the McDonald's tie-in helped with that, because I had the toys, and then I was like, I gotta watch this thing over and over and over.
Yeah.
Also, this was at the period of time where, it was the craze of companies making Penguin movies. Like, I kind of researched it, because I was like, is this the era? Because it was, 2005 was March of the Penguins, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of sparked everything.
Yeah, I never saw that.
I saw it in theaters, and I think it was the only one, because I was a kid and I didn't want to watch like a documentary type thing.
Fair.
It was the only one that I watched as a kid with my parents that I literally forced my family to leave because I hated it so much. Like, we got up and we walked out of the theater in the middle of it. So I don't think I've ever finished that movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like at the Waterbury Mall, and we were sitting there. It was like a free movie. They had this thing. It was like every Tuesday, like the matinee was free.
Nice.
But it was like a specific movie every week. And most of the movies were great. It was like all kids' movies. It was like designed for parents.
Yeah,
like raising their
to
kids.
bring your kid.
And that week it just so happened to be
March of the
Penguins. And I was so young. I mean, I was 3.
I was about to say,
but I was like,
4,
I hated it so much that I was like, I am leaving right now.
Damn. No, was your family into it, or you don't remember?
I think my brother also hated it, but he doesn't he's more of a TV guy than a movie guy anyways.
Oh, fair.
But I think my mom was like, yeah, this is fine. She doesn't really love like movies anyways. She likes movies obviously, but
so no one was like
a
super
huge
into it.
No, like they were all fine with me leaving, like with us getting up and leaving.
Yeah.
But anyways, Madagascar was also 2005. Which introduced us to the Penguins of Madagascar, which was like a whole big other thing. 2006 is Happy Feet. 2007 is this movie. So it's like really back to back to back.
There was a weird... I kind of forgot, but you're right. There was a weird penguin craze when we were young.
So I remember all of that vividly, and I remember it just kind of existing. And I was like, oh, okay, we have to... This is the penguin thing.
Yeah, another penguin.
Watch it. Because also this movie was at the tail end of it. I think after this one it kind of started to decline.
Now, okay, this is going to be a really silly question. But Penguins of Madagascar, did they get their own movie or did they get their own show?
I know for a fact it was a show. I don't know if it was a movie. Okay. I don't know if they did a movie as well.
You're not sure?
I'm not positive.
Because I know whenever all of that hit, at that point I was out.
Yeah, hang on. I'm actually going to look it up. Penguins of Madagascar.
Summer sessions, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, literally. We can take a hard pause. Comedy film, Penguins of Madagascar.
Oh, it was. There you go.
And then the Penguins of Madagascar, let's see. And then this series, yeah, they have a movie and a
so it's
TV
both.
show. Yeah.
When did the movie come out? What was the release date on that?
Insane. The movie came out in 2014.
Oh, yeah, please.
And then the show came out in 2008.
Oh, show was first?
Yeah, the show was first, and then it ran... I actually don't know how many seasons.
Oh, no shit.
It ran 3 seasons, 149 episodes. So, wait, that's insane.
So this show was, like, huge.
They have 22 minutes. Yeah, it was on Nick.
I knew that. I remember being on
Nick. That's
wild.
Well, right. But that's wild that each season had, like, 50 episodes.
That's insane.
I guess that was the 2008 thing, because nowadays they're, like, 6 episodes.
If that, yeah.
Yeah, wow. And then the Penguins of Madagascar movie... Oh my god! It had a $132 million budget, $373 million gross.
What?
So yeah, it like made some money.
What is going on with this Penguins franchise?
That's what I'm saying. It was a Penguins craze. It was insane.
Dude, the Penguins of Madagascar is a sleeper hit. People aren't. I don't know why people aren't talking about this.
We gotta cover that movie because I did watch that as a kid.
You did? Madagascar?
Yeah, oh yeah. No, Penguins of Madagascar.
I never watched that.
Yeah.
Madagascar, that will come, but.
That will come, yeah. Madagascar 3 specifically.
I think I've only seen the first one.
Oh my god, dude, 3 is insane. That one's like Cat in the Hat.
Oh no.
Not actually, it's crazy. Anyways, all that aside, we both feel very fond of the toys.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we thought about the movie. So going into production, this is a computer animated mockumentary, which I completely forgot.
I did too.
Produced by Sony Picture Animations.
Oh.
And yeah, thank God we're off the DreamWorks run. And
for now.
I'm hoping that we don't do 3 Sonys in a row, but we'll see at the end of this because we have a very special announcement about our next.
Yeah, we do. Next one's gonna be cool.
It should be fun. But yeah, so the film is directed by a man. I think it's a man.
Okay.
Hang on.
What's their name?
Yes, Ash is a man.
Okay.
Ash Brannon. Which it's actually directed by 2 people. So Ash Brannon and Chris Buck. So okay. Ash Brannon this was his directorial debut.
Oh, no way.
And he worked a lot in animation but never directed until this. So he worked a ton across the board, a bunch of different companies.
We've had that a couple times.
Yeah. And then this was his direct. It is funny how the movies that we talk about are typically animators' directorial debuts.
Yeah, which is interesting.
It's really interesting.
I know.
And then the second guy, Chris Buck. This guy's no joke. Like, he's no joke. Okay. He co-directed Frozen.
Oh,
he co-directed Frozen 2. Yeah, he's like one of the 2 Oscar winners. I mean, like, he's massive.
Damn. Yeah.
Co-directed Frozen 2. He co-directed this. He directed Tarzan. And he also created characters for many other Disney animated films. I think Little Mermaid is like the big one. He like did the character animation for like a lot of the major characters. Yeah, like this guy's huge.
This guy's no joke.
Yeah, it's awesome. So directed by those 2. A first-timer and like a legend, which is such an interesting...
Did they also write it or no?
I think they each had a hand in the writing.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was written by like 5 or 6 people.
Whoa.
And they all it was written by a bunch of people. And they all kind of had like co-writing credits.
Gotcha.
But so the budget for this was $100 million.
Okay.
And it grossed 152.
Ooh.
Which means it lost a lot of money. It was a big stinker.
But the McDonald's toys.
The box office. I know, dude. I'm sure that they made more revenue in Happy Meals than
they probably did.
Because like, if you think about it, Happy Meals at that time were roughly the same amount of money as a movie ticket.
Yeah, because movie tickets used to be cheap back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you really think about how many people were buying Happy Meals with those toys and you add them up, I'm telling you, it could probably be comparable.
There's a good chance.
There's a chance. You never know. But so it was critically praised for its animation style and its humor, which I agree to a certain extent. I like the humor a lot. We'll get more into that, but I really like the humor. I didn't love the animation style, but again, that's a later thing. And because it was a mockumentary style of animation, it's hard to kind of do that, like both, because you're not actually holding a camera, so it's kind of hard to get that camera thing. But when you watch the movie, it's done beautifully.
I agree.
It's done very well.
Yeah.
But so what they had to do was they had to motion capture a physical camera operator's movements to get the mockumentary camera movements correct for the animation.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so that's how they pulled it off, which is crazy.
Damn,
so they had to shoot the whole movie with capturing the guy's like actual movements for every single shot and then animate to that.
Damn, that's no joke.
Which is crazy.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah. And so in 2008 it was nominated, or I guess for the year, the Oscars 2008 celebrating the movies of 2008.
Yeah.
It was nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Oh, it was.
And it lost to a little film called Ratatouille.
Well, that'll do it.
yeah, that'll do it. It makes sense. It's like one of my favorite If you ask me like what my top 5 animated movies were, Ratatouille's probably on that list.
Chicken Little's number 1, I'm assuming, right?
Chicken Little's number 1.
Yeah.
No. Ratatouille's definitely up there. Yeah, it makes sense why.
Yeah, that makes.
It's a good one.
Listen, I'll get into how I feel about stuff later, but Ratatouille makes sense for winning.
Yeah, hang on, I'm looking something up really quick because it did have a direct to video sequel.
I saw that. Yeah, I noticed that.
And the I think one of the leads in it is John Cena.
What?
Yeah.
Is it the same characters or?
It's not the same characters.
Oh.
The Undertaker is in it, and he plays himself. So if that tells you anything, that's what the movie is.
We should be watching that one.
It's a 26... This was made almost 10 years later. Surf's Up 2, Wave Mania, 2016.
What?
Yeah. Box office made $1 million.
What was the budget?
Because it was direct to video, so that's not real.
Yeah.
But so that's insane. The Undertaker.
That's why he plays
a character and he plays himself.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But so the going back to this wonderful movie compared to that bullshit.
Well, I'm sure.
The actors got to record their lines in the same room, which is extremely rare for an animated film. And we've brought this up before. Yeah. How certain pairs would usually...
Yeah, like in Over the Hedge, there was one
or two. You had pairs where they could record, but never the whole cast. I think the whole cast was typically in the room, from what I got from my research.
Which is pretty cool. That's,
it's really interesting. And the actors were famously encouraged to improv dialogue wherever they felt it was necessary.
Oh, no way.
Because it was like a documentary style, like real life, not scripted. Yeah. So I'm assuming at least, I would have to imagine like 20 to 30% of the script is just improvised lines, which is really interesting. And I would like to find out like what the lines were.
I know. I want to...
Because a lot of it, I think the humor is really good.
It's
So
great.
it's like,
Yeah, part of me now is like I almost want to read the original script
exactly,
and see
yeah.
what was like added or not added. You know what I mean?
Right. Especially because like for documentary scripts in general, you really don't write like a typical
there's not a lot
screenplay
you
format.
can do.
Yeah, you write. It's called a 2-column script. So basically, you can write it as a screenplay, but typically how it's done is you have a 2-column script, which basically has the description of what's like what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure like the amount of time, something like that.
Okay.
But it's like what the visual is and what you want them to say, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's obviously no dialogue.
And then it's kind of like whatever you get, you work with.
Exactly.
But yeah. So, and this is Sony Animation's first film not to feature humans, which is interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't exactly know how many movies they've done before this one because it is still pretty early on in the 2000s.
Yeah, I was about to say Sony started in the early 2000s, I believe. So.
Yeah, but it is the first one that's not fully featuring human beings. And I thought this was really interesting. They added a little bit of film grain to each shot to match the documentary format, which I thought was pretty cool.
Damn,
for the time. Yeah,
they keep getting creative with this.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And this is I guess I have 2 more things. It went from theaters to DVD, and I say only for a reason, but only 18 weeks. And now it sounds like a lot because nowadays it's like immediate.
Yeah, it was streaming.
But back in the day, that was really short.
Yeah, no, that was very short.
One to the other.
Well, it's probably because it wasn't doing so hot.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then the animators took a trip to Malibu Beach to study surfers and like just how they exist. But I'm convinced that it was just a vacation.
It most definitely was just a vacation. Dude, we're going to do that on our next set. We have to go study the trees of Jamaica. We gotta go.
And you're like, what are you filming? And we're like, it all takes place in a house. And you're like, why do you need to go to Jamaica? And we're like,
because the characters really like Jamaica.
Yeah, they have pictures of Jamaica from their trip going on. And I think we should have a trip too.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, and that's all I have for production.
It seems like the production was like a blast.
It sounds like it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I have to admit. Especially because the main character is Shia LaBeouf.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Because I didn't look into the cast at all for this one. I knew a couple.
It makes so much sense. Because just like if you listen back to some of the ways that like lines are delivered, even just like things he says, knowing the improv thing, I'm like, yeah, that's just Shia LaBeouf being Shia LaBeouf.
I'm just like a freak. I'm rewatch this movie,
and I love it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, it's so Shia. Oh my god, it's totally Shia LaBeouf.
So Shia LaBeouf.
Dude, I'm viewing this movie in a whole new light now.
So different, right?
Because I wanted to do I always try to do like very little going in, so it's just like a fresh take. So there's a couple like Zooey Deschanel. I knew immediately.
Sure.
And I think it's Jeff Bridges.
It is Jeff Bridges.
It is. That's what I thought. Okay,
yeah.
But the lead guy, it sounded familiar, but I couldn't place it. Oh my fucking god, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jeez, his best role.
Yeah, it's insane.
He did a good job.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
And when I even knowing it was him, like you could tell it's him once you know it's him. But when you don't know it's him, you're like, okay, this guy very clearly has a grasp on himself and the character. So it kind of just like
it was nice.
Together, which is
nice. I had no idea.
But now that we're done with production, I would like to transition into a sweet little segment that
it's now
I like to call the summer songs. And so
okay.
It's a working title. No, basically what I wanted to do, I thought it was silly and fun, but I think it sets the tone just for the year that the movie came out, specifically the summer. Because it's the summer sessions, and we're covering movies that typically have runs over the summer.
Yes.
I wanted to give you just a list. It's nothing crazy. This will literally take 5 seconds.
Okay.
But just a list of the top 5 songs of the summer of the year the movie this came out.
Oh, okay.
The year that this movie came... Yeah, I said that right.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I thought it was a fun little thing that we could do in the summer sessions because we have time to do it. I think it's fun.
Summer sesh rules, baby. Let's go.
And because some of these songs are really interesting and they're also kind of like greenlit and you're like, oh my god, I forgot that this came out this year, and it kind of just sets the vibe for the movie and the year that it came out.
Fair. I will preface this with a little warning. Because keep in mind, I swear to everyone I did not know the segment was a thing until just now.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah, but I'm kind of glad you did. But growing up, I had very little interaction with popular music. Because my dad showed me stuff, and I just worshipped his music taste So it was all that. So
Mm-hmm.
I get it a lot where people are like, "What about this song?" And I'm like, I've never heard of that in my life. I'm like, how do you not know this? Like, you must know this. So there's a good chance you give me like 5 songs, I know like 1.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know so I'll go 5-1.
Okay.
But number 5, I didn't know. The rest of them I knew.
Oh,
You'll know some of them.
I don't know some for sure.
But we'll see.
Well, yeah.
So number 5 is a song called "Party Like a Rock Star" by Shop Boys.
No
Never
idea.
heard of it.
Yeah.
I looked it up and I was like, maybe I'll know the chorus. Never heard.
No.
I think it's a kind of a rap song. It's very weird. Number
no
4
idea.
is "Buy You a Drink" from T-Pain.
Don't know it.
The one that's like, "Baby girl, what's your name?" You know that one?
Nope.
Okay, sick. I'm glad I just did that on air.
That's staying in.
Number 3 is a song that I'm extremely excited to say because we have a history with it, and also I'm seeing them live in like a couple weeks.
What?
It's a little song called "Hey There Delilah" by the Plain White Tees.
No way! No
Yeah.
way! Oh my god!
Yeah, that song came out this year, and it's so perfect that that's the first ever Summer Sessions, and that's one of the songs on there.
That's crazy. Okay, you want to quickly explain our connection to that?
Yeah. So we shot also a mockumentary.
It was totally a mockumentary. Yeah.
Called River Fork Community College.
Yes.
A couple years ago.
It was our first thing we ever did together.
In the short, one of our friends who's a huge Plain White Tees fan
for some reason
named Zach, he's our roommate, and our other roommate Jonah, who's the main character in the film. They both have this little banter back and forth, and the song "Hey There Delilah" comes up, and basically Jonah tries to teach Zach how to actually play the song.
Yeah.
And the whole joke is that he's just really bad at playing the guitar and really bad at singing, and it ends up being this funny thing. And then it comes back in later in the
we then
film.
make like a professional version of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Zach recorded this whole professional thing. It was great.
I prefer ours. Fun. Ours is called "Hey There Delilah Girl." It's a little sequel. I think it's
awesome.
better.
You guys should. It's not still up, is it?
No, Zach, unfortunately. The music was released for a while, then Zach took it down.
It was released. But if you want to hear it, hit us up.
Yeah, go ahead, hit us up, or just go watch River Fork. It's on video.
Yeah,
it's out to the public. Yeah.
But yeah, and then number 2 is a song called "Big Girls Don't Cry" from Fergie, which my mom used to listen to all the time.
Really?
So I have So I get this. And then number 1 is
wait, before you move, hang on, wait.
Yeah.
Before the big reveal. Because this might be embarrassing, but Fergie is a name I know, but I can't name a single song.
To be fair, I didn't know that "Big Girls Don't Cry" was Fergie, and even knowing that "Big Girls Don't Cry" is Fergie, I still don't know anything else.
Okay, glad I'm not alone there.
Yeah. I have no idea. And then number 1 is a little song by Rihanna called "Umbrella."
That one I know. That's the only one I've known.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like the most popular. But so I wanted to do that segment, even though it's a little corny, it's a little fun, just because it sets the tone for what that summer was like.
What the vibe of that year was.
The summer sessions, we can put you in the mood of that summer. And if you're listening, you can go listen to those songs and be like, okay, now I get when this movie came out, give you a little bit of nostalgia. And watch the movie that we're covering.
Right?
Exactly. 2007.
2007. Okay, never mind that.
Okay.
When we hit 2008, I'm gonna get really nerdy on you.
Okay, sweet. We have to pick a movie from 2008.
Just specifically for that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the summer songs. It's a working title, but I like the segment. I think it's fun.
I say keep the title. I like the title.
Oh yeah, the summer songs.
Yeah, summer songs, summer sessions.
Summer sessions. All right, so moving into plot.
Yes.
This is where we begin plot, and our running time now is at an hour. So we're over what we typically would do in Greenlit.
That's wild.
So for those of you who are still listening.
So Maddie and my dad. Yeah.
Maddie, and my grandfather, if he can figure out how to use Spotify. But if you guys are listening, thank you for sticking with us. Woo! And we are powering through, and now we're getting into plot. We love you all. Keep going.
You know what's weird? It's so funny you said we just hit an hour, and that's like usually where we end, and we're starting plot. Because I just got hit with a wave of exhaustion.
Are you serious?
I'm like, I don't care about surf stuff anymore. I'll go to bed.
Oh,
no. I'm kidding.
No, I know. Okay, so this movie starts, like we said before, it opens with Cody being interviewed. Cody is our main character. He is a penguin, and it is voiced by Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, which is bananas.
Yeah, and now his whole shtick is like, he came from Antarctica, he loves surfing, and he's kind of an outcast.
Yeah.
And he looks up to this guy named Big Z.
Yeah.
Now, Big Z is this all-time surf champion, and he gave Shia LaBeouf. I'm just gonna call him Shia LaBeouf. His name's Cody. We'll use him interchangeably. But he gave Shia LaBeouf like this little necklace that is like a shell and it has a Z on it, just because he was like, I see something in you.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks up to him this whole time. So that's kind of the vibe of this guy.
This kind of freaked me out, by the way. Because again, I forgot a lot about this movie. But in high school, my film teacher was this guy from Russia named Zhenya Kipperman. Which is the coolest name of all time.
Yeah, that is cool.
And when I first, I got to the school and I met him immediately because I was into film. So I was like, hey, you're my guy. And he kind of took me under his wing. We got really close. But for 4 years straight, I called him Big Z.
No way.
Because his name was Zhenya Kipperman. Like, you could go to my phone and go to my contacts, and his contact is Big Z.
Big Z? That's
crazy. When this movie started, he's like, I love Big Z. I'm like, Zhenya Kipperman?
So do I.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Dude, that's awesome.
Freaks me out.
That's so cool.
I know.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, so the movie opens with Shia LaBeouf being interviewed. Well, Cody the Penguin being interviewed.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf, basically. And it's a documentary film crew, and they're making a doc about Cody as a person or as a penguin and just surfing in general. Now, what I could never figure out was if the documentary film crew were people or penguins.
That's a really good question.
Because if they were people, it makes total sense why they're making a documentary. But if they're talking penguins that surf.
Even if they're penguins.
Then it still makes sense, but it's like almost cooler if they're people.
Because
I don't think we ever find out.
If they're penguins, I'm going to say it doesn't make sense. Because then I have so many questions about the world. Where is this getting shown? Do penguins go to movie theaters? Are there humans?
Oh, yeah. Do they go to penguin film school?
Yeah, like does Zhenya Kipperman exist in this world? Like awesome. Everything, my mind breaks if they're penguins. So I'm going to assume they're humans and just pretend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Cody gives us a history of surfing, and he talks about Big Z, who's his inspiration. Yep. Basically the Michael Jordan of surfing. This guy is like all time. He's amazing.
Also the guy that taught me film.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Big Z, he gave him his necklace, told him to never give up, and Cody wants to be like Big Z when he gets older.
Yeah.
So then cut to the cold, harsh reality of he lives in Antarctica, and it's this specific place called Shiverpool, which I thought was very funny.
Is that assuming it's a play in Liverpool?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that, or just
I don't know. I think it's the closest that you can get to.
I figured
it's cold and miserable.
Yeah.
And we can play it on words, and it's funny. But yeah, so he lives in Shiverpool, and he hates it. Everyone just kind of wants. It's similar to Turbo in the sense that he has a brother who basically just wants him to be normal.
Yeah, it just shits on him all the time, you know.
And everyone in the town is basically like, you need to just be normal and do normal things.
Yeah, I think he's like a nut.
Yeah, don't be different. Turbo wanted to go fast, this guy wants to surf. Yeah, that's basically the only difference. Yeah. And then we find out that his dad was eaten? Like, we get like this weird offhanded like comment that his dad was eaten
by an orca.
By an orca or something. Or like a whale. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, it's really depressing, but they kind of just move on from that.
They have a couple of really dark jokes in this, including the chicken's dad, which I'm sure we'll get to. But like every time they do it, they only hang on it for like 5 seconds, and they just keep moving on with the movie. I'm like, what the? Did that just happen?
Chicken Joe's dad's story.
That was brutal.
We're gonna get to that, but it's crazy. But so also, I have just a side note, and this is bringing back the whole Shia LaBeouf thing. And I know that you were just learning about this now, which this quote makes it 100 times better now knowing that it's Shia LaBeouf. But it's such an insane, like, of its time movie. But I say that because of just like the way that lines are delivered. And now that we know that it's Shia LaBeouf and that some lines were improvised, I'm curious to see if this was actually written because of the times or if this is just Shia LaBeouf being himself.
Yeah.
So the line that I've written down is at one point, Shia LaBeouf says, "Oh, Cody this, or Cody's this, Cody's that." And then he says, "Cody's me, bro." And I thought that was so funny because I was like, I was like taking notes on my computer. And I like looked up and I was like, are you kidding me? Did he just say that out loud? Cody's this, Cody's that. Cody's me, bro. I was like, what?
I feel like that was Shia LaBeouf in like an interview.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize he was recording, and they're like, let's just use it.
And then, it just threw me for a loop, and I just had to forget it because that's crazy. But so then we cut to the SPEN, which is the ESPN of this world.
Oh, that's okay, got
it. Yes. It's they specifically point out like what it stands for, but it was like the Surfing Penguins something
it's
network. It's something like that. And we see that there is the Big Z Memorial Surf Competition that's about to happen.
Yeah.
And Tank the Shredder Evans is this big, bulky penguin who has won. It's the 10th anniversary, the 10th annual, and he's won all 9 of them.
Yeah.
Up until this one, right? And he's the reigning champion every single year. And he's this big, mean, bully guy.
Yeah.
He's not nice. But so then this talent scout, what like animal was that thing?
The little bird.
Do you remember?
Like
he was like a little bird,
guy.
Right?
Yeah,
the bird. He was the talent scout.
Yeah, just some little loser bird.
Yeah, but so he's a talent scout, and he goes to Antarctica to like scout talent because he lost a bet apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
Which I thought was again. There's like a bunch of like offhanded comments that are so funny, but like they pass by him so fast because this movie's very fast paced.
Well, it's only like an hour 20 with credits. It's short.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very short. But yeah, so the talent scout little bird guy goes to Antarctica. And he scouts Cody for the surf competition, kind of. Like he scouts him, and then he kind of leaves him in the dust, and then Cody kind of proves himself. He catches up to like the whale they're riding on, and then he just kind of like lets him.
Yeah, he's
be
like
in the competition
after like 4 times of Cody almost dying.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, we'll finally let you on the boat.
Yeah, but so then Cody befriends Joe, the Chicken Joe. Who is a stoner chicken
best character
from Lake Michigan.
Easily the best character in the whole movie. I loved it.
Cool. But one of my biggest things was like I liked the animation a lot, except for I think Chicken Joe looked so ridiculous.
Oh, he's the best.
But like it makes sense because he is a stoner character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it makes sense, but it threw me off. I also watched this on YouTube in different segments.
Oh, really?
So, like, the quality was shit. So, I don't know if it was just that, but I was like, I liked everything else, but just Chicken Joe looked like shit.
I loved him. And also, it was
so
one of those, like, as a kid, I loved him, and then I forgot that he exists in my life. And when he was on screen, I was like, oh my god.
It got just so much better.
Yeah, all this love came flooding back.
Uh-huh. That's so funny.
It was beautiful.
But yeah, so they Joe and Shia LaBeouf and all the recruiter and all the penguins, right? They all get to the surf competition, and it's paradise. Like it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And Cody immediately, Shia LaBeouf falls in love with a lifeguard penguin who I think you said is Zoe Deschanel.
Yes.
And so then there's just a couple little things because again it's documentary, so it kind of just goes quick. So it's kind of hard because there's like a lot of things that like don't really matter to the plot, but like they're just kind of interesting things. So just to fire off a couple, Cody fights Tank, the big bad guy, because he's pelting Big Z's shrine with rocks.
Right.
He's like, hey, don't do that. This is my idol. And he's like, you're a loser. I hate you.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Cody falls off his board in a massive wave, and he screams, and the scream is so funny because they replay it like 4 times.
Yeah, they do.
It's hysterical.
And everyone
if you
thinks
don't
he,
know
like,
what
died.
we're talking about, go watch it because it's so funny. And then immediately after that, Cody's poisoned by a sea urchin, I think, and
a fire sea urchin or something.
Right. And then the lifeguard that he's in love with takes him to Geek, who is a penguin. Like,
who is it?
Who he is.
Yeah.
And he pees on him, which he says is an old ritual. But it's just funny because he says like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this remedy," and then he drinks something and he takes a piss on him, which is.
Also, by the way, just because it sounds like we're like rushing through the plot, but this is just how the movie is.
Yeah, it's like you get 3 seconds. I was like taking notes and I like was typing something and I was like, "Oh, this will breathe for a little bit," and it immediately cuts to some notes.
It's a beat. Yeah. It's crazy how fast the pace of this thing is.
So fast, it's unbelievable. But so Cody loses his Big Z necklace, and Geek finds it and gives it back to him and offers to make him Mysterious geek. Who
Yeah.
knows who that is?
I don't know. We don't know.
Then he offers to make him a new board.
Yeah, in a weird. That was. Okay, sorry. Continue with the plot a little bit, and then I have a weird comment on what's about to happen.
What I'm about to bring up is the Chicken Joe dad thing. So if you want to talk about that now.
Oh yeah,
kind of reference that.
I forgot that was even right there. Explain what happened with the dad, and then we'll talk about how weird that is.
Okay, yeah. So there are some hysterical gags in this, including, so Chicken Bob, which is Chicken Joe's dad.
Yes.
Basically, it's just like a hard cut to a picture of Chicken Bob, and then you zoom out and you realize that it's a 6-piece like chicken wing
and that's
bucket, like fried chicken. And I don't remember what he says, but he's like, oh yeah, my dad lays it around.
Dude.
And he's like, he's just fried chicken. And you're like, oh shit, that's
that was
also
wild.
like insane. And that they just pulled that out of nowhere.
Yeah, and they just never talk about it again. Just
never.
It's such a weird offhand, such a dark joke for like 2 seconds.
Insane.
It's wild.
Okay, so now do you want to do like what's next?
Yeah, so my memory of the plot is that he offers to make him a board. Kind of. He's kind of like, not forces him, but he's like, we're making a board.
Right.
And then somehow it gets to this weird sequence of like the log is pushing him down like a hill, and they're both falling, and then they like miraculously end up on the beach.
Right.
And
like this secluded beach, and it's like
this weird secluded beach. And then it gets like the big twist that I'll let you reveal later. But I was like, there must have been a better way to get these 2 characters on this beach. It was the only point in this movie
just kind of like
that was
fell down.
Yeah, it was so stupid. It's the only thing in this movie where I'm like, that was dumb. Like they just dropped the log and then they fell at his old home. Like, really? That's how they get there?
Yeah, and I said this before, but it was like, it's this weird thing where I was like typing notes as I was watching on the TV.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts so fast that like I was
so
trying to like
quick.
keep up with the plot. And then when I was typing my notes about the chicken joe, because I thought it was so funny about Chicken Bob, like they were already, as I was still typing it, they were already on the beach.
Yeah,
and I was like,
crazy.
what just happened? Yeah.
Because even...
But so anyways...
I just thought of one. So, okay, so later on, a little spoilers, but they're making the board, and he has like these tools. He has like this special shell that he uses to like carve it. Wouldn't he have to go to the beach to get that tool anyway?
Right.
Why did we have this weird log? Like it was just so goofy.
It was interesting, but yeah. Anyways, so they are they find like a shack, right?
Yeah.
And then Cody realizes that, oh my god, big twist, Geek, the guy who peed on him and saved his life,
is Big Z,
and is actually Big Z.
It's the guy. It's my film teacher.
Guy. He faked his own death. And now he's in hiding, and magically they got to his little shack on his own secluded beach. That's where he's been living.
The log, yeah.
Exactly. And also, how does the film crew get down there?
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. They just like jump with them.
I guess. If they're I don't know. It depends if they're humans or penguins.
Right. It just like cuts to them like on the beach, and you're like, how?
They were there.
They just left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Big Z and they have this whole like back and forth of like, oh my god, what happened? And he's like, initially he's like all grumpy, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So by the way, this is also one of those, and I've said it. I don't remember what episode, but I've said it before in season 1, where it was one where watching it now, it was very obvious, like, oh, that's clearly Big Z. But I have a memory of even watching as a kid, and I knew. Like, I don't know if they, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much they intended to be a twist, but
I'm sure as a kid I didn't know as much, but this time around it was like, even the twists in the other movies that we've watched so far, I saw coming, but this one was so abundantly obvious.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost disappointing, and I was like, oh, I forgot all about this movie, and now I know who the guy
exactly.
is.
That's almost like, I even question, like, did they even really intend it to be a twist, or like, how much were they really trying? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it was so clear who that was.
So
he looks
obvious.
the same.
Oh, exactly the same.
Yeah.
But so then there was like a hard cut to like this random insert of Tank who takes the camera crew into his trophy room, and talks about all of them just in the most sexual manner possible.
And it's like,
and I was like,
a while too.
It's so long. He has to, each of them, he has all their names, and he's like
so
sexy
weird.
talking. And he's like, this number 10 is gonna go to whatever it was, Leah.
Yeah,
and I'm in love with her
name a couple of times.
Yeah, it's so sexual. It's so weird.
It's so
his mom cuts in.
It's so yeah.
It's so strange. She's like,
so
honey,
weird.
why are you like, you know?
I mean, that might have been like the only joke in this movie that really didn't work for me.
It threw me off.
Yeah, it was also because it was like 5 minutes. It was so
Yeah.
weird. It had nothing to do with anything, literally at all. And like the movie's already so short. I'm like, why are we dedicating time to this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think just because you need the time, because like immediately what happens after this is Big Z doesn't want the film crew to talk to him or teach Cody. But there's like that weird buffer that you kind of needed a scene, but not that scene.
Not that.
Yeah, it's very weird. But yeah, so Big Z's all upset. But then eventually Big Z helps him make the board, but he's a control freak, right? So he like goes in and he starts to cut it, and then I think he like kind of just like gets into that groove again of like, oh my god, I used to be this guy.
This hasn't done in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so and then we again, there's so many just hard cuts to different things. But Chicken Joe, gets taken by penguins. Yeah, gets taken by penguins and like this random, just like side quest.
Oh yeah.
That want to cook him. Exactly. There's so many weird things.
There's so much going on.
But that want to cook him and want to eat him, or that do cook him but they want to eat him. They don't like they put him in like a
big pot.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to
like boil him.
Yeah, straight up.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're trying to commit murder.
And then it just again an immediate hard cut away from that. And you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
But so Cody and the lifeguard, what's the lifeguard's name? I've been calling her the lifeguard.
This is Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah, Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah.
So Cody and Zoe go on a date, kind of, and they like surf on like a leaf through lava. Like it's so weird. And then we find out. Yeah, they shower together. And he jokes about it, just like Shia LaBeouf would.
Yeah.
Like every line of dialogue I think about, I'm like, that's such a Shia LaBeouf thing to do and say.
Yep, 100%.
And then we find out that she is actually Big Z's niece.
Yeah,
and she basically was like, I am blown away with you because you got him out of his shell. I've been trying to get him out of his shell for the past however many years.
It's kind of sad
now
almost.
You did it. Yeah, it is. And so we have this nice little moment. We come back to the beach. Cody has to pass this test to have fun because he's being a stickler about making everything perfect and winning. But Big Z is like, you have to have fun before you get out in the water. And it's almost the point where like he's fucking with him a little bit, like with the cucumbers especially.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Big Z makes him put cucumbers on his eyes.
I thought it was pineapple.
Big Z oh maybe it was.
'Cause I know like
whatever it was.
Cucumber, but
yeah, maybe it was pineapple. But anyways, they put something on their eyes to like relax and have fun or whatever. And then Big Z just like eats them because he just thinks he's like, oh fuck this guy, he's funny. Yeah. But then they eventually hit the water and they start training. And they have fun when they're training, and then Cody learns that Big Z faked his own death because he was too embarrassed that Tank had surpassed his talent.
Now,
so
which is weird. Because again, now keep in mind, as a kid, I just admitted I didn't remember this was a mockumentary at all. But I also had a memory. I thought Tank tried to kill him. I thought Tank tried to commit murder on Big Z.
What?
Like in my mind, Tank was way more evil than he actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept waiting for the twist, and then you're gonna have the scene where he's battling Tank, and Tank also tries to kill him, but he knows, so he gets around. No, I made all that up. Tank is just kind of like this weird jock guy that's just rude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean he really is, and he's been around for a hot second. If he's still on the top of his game. But yeah, so he basically was like, "Oh yeah, no, I just gave up and quit," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that's sick."
Good for you.
Yeah, but so anyways. Alas, the 10th annual Big Z has begun.
The big competition. Here we go.
Big competition. And what do you know? On the day of the competition, the surfing conditions are horrendously bad.
Yeah.
They're atrocious. There's like a hurricane, basically. They all the starting gun is shot, whatever. The surfers go out, and 6 get wiped out like instantaneously.
Yeah.
They are just done.
And also, I like the fact that the announcers, right before the race, were like, "Yeah, people are gonna die, but we're gonna do it anyway."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're still gonna have this conversation. So when 6 got wiped out, I'm like, did I just see a bunch of like penguin deaths?
Yeah.
Is there a chance?
There is a very high chance.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's interesting because they immediately cut to the final 3. Like there's like a bunch of people
within seconds,
and they're like, "Oh, 6 got out immediately," and they're like, "And we're down to our 3 finalists."
Yeah,
like within literally seconds.
I was like, did I miss something?
They had to just push it, but it's weird because they could have had like 5 minutes of just not even of just like showing the
100%, just showing all the other ones go down. Yeah,
it was very weird, and no documentary would actually do that.
Fair.
I mean, who knows? But it's down to the 3 finalists. We have Tank, obviously, Cody, obviously. And for some reason, I didn't know that this guy was finalist, but Chicken Joe.
Yeah, damn right he's a finalist.
I just didn't know that the rest of the movie played out the way it did.
Don't rag on my chicken.
It was awesome. Also, the fact that he's a chicken and not a penguin is awesome.
It's so cool. And he's from, what's he from?
Funny.
Like Lake Michigan
Lake
or
Michigan.
something? Yeah, it's just so sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, so during the first, so there's 2 rounds, I guess, in the finals. The first round, Cody flips. He flips like over Tank, and they name the flip like they name it his last name. I forget what his last name is.
They did? I don't even know if I caught that.
Yeah. They were like, we're calling this the whatever it is.
The LaBeouf flip.
Yeah, the LaBeouf flip. And scores 27. So Cody scores 27 for doing that.
Oh, and Tank falls, right?
Yeah, Tank falls, so he scores 0.
0.
And Chicken Joe accidentally scores 27.
Yeah, he's just living life.
He's just like, he's staring up into the sky, and then he just like magically does some really cool thing.
Doesn't even realize he's in a competition. He's just chilling.
Yeah. And so they both have 27, Tank has 0. So now in the second round, this is like basically the final round. Tank is about to knock Joe out, and he's like, I'm gonna kill this chicken.
Yeah, he's gunning.
He's done. And Cody saves him, proving he's not just in it for the trophy, which...
Yeah, he sacrifices first place. Didn't care.
Yeah, which Zooey Deschanel calls out earlier. She's like, you're just in it for the trophy. You don't actually want to be...
Oh, right. I forgot about that, too.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah. A good person. Yeah. But so he goes into the boneyard, which is like a dangerous spot. It's pretty much like where everyone thought Big Z died.
Yeah.
And Big Z saves him. Oh my god, he saves him and
he comes back.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Z reveals he's alive to everyone, and they all rejoice.
I love they all just accepted it. And they're like, oh, let's go hang out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, let's go. Again,
no
like 2 seconds. They're like, yeah, no questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tank loses and Chicken Joe wins, which I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't
realize that.
I
was like,
no
dude,
memory.
That's great. He like fully sacrificed himself. I
was so happy though, because he was my favorite
awesome.
from the second he was on screen. I'm like, let's
incredible.
Fucking go.
Yeah, he's the best.
Easily.
But anyways, so that all happens, and that's pretty much it. All is good in the world, and the movie ends.
Nice little happy ending. I like that he didn't win. Kind of a cool ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nice. It's non-traditional. I like it. But yeah, so I guess going into final thoughts, do you want to start?
Yeah, so again, I realized this movie as a kid, but I mostly remember the toy.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into it, I had no idea what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be tied with Chicken Little for my favorite movie we've ever done on the show.
Oh my god. See, I don't know why, but at the beginning when we started the episode, I was just from the vibes, I was like, I don't think you like this.
I really liked it.
Oh god. Yes, honestly, so did I.
Well, because the thing is, I thought a lot of it was just so creative. Mm-hmm. And I've never seen anything like that, and there probably won't be anything like that again. An animated mockumentary that it got even cooler when you find out the production. There was improv, and they did real camera motions. Like, I think the fact that even exists, and it was funny, and it the characters were actually well done, the story was good, is such a miracle in itself.
Right, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and it sucks that it tanked financially.
I know, it's such a bummer because it was such a leap of faith to make a project like that.
Right.
So even if the story and the humor didn't work for me, I still would give this movie bonus points for being so ambitious. But on top of it, it genuinely made me laugh. I actually liked the characters, which doesn't happen a lot in this show. Yeah, I really enjoyed Surf's Up.
Yeah, so did I. And I watched this morning when my eyes were still messed up. My prescription's still not great, but I watched it in segments on YouTube, so I had ads. It was such an interesting watch, and yet I still loved it. I think because I forgot the documentary type format. I was like, it was such a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
I thought the
awesome.
Humor in it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I think this might have been the funniest movie that we've watched. I've laughed out loud the most during this one.
I agree because I usually don't laugh out loud by myself when I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Yeah.
But this one, the chicken joke, that got me.
There were some good bits.
Yeah, there were,
but yeah,
genuinely.
I like the character dynamics a lot. I thought they were interesting. The chicken joke, like I said this earlier, but the chicken joke character animation scared me a little. But overall, like I really liked the visual style, especially for 2007. Yeah. 2007, it was I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I think it holds up animation. I think it still looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this won't exactly line up the way we're hoping to, but one final thought about
okay, we'll try to do this on Zoom.
Yeah. I can't believe this got greenlit. If it's delayed, guys, we're on Zoom. It's the best we got.
Listen, it's summer sessions. There's no rules.
No rules.
Oh, how about this? You know what? We'll keep all this in because I want people to know just how shitty this show is. But we'll do one word at a time. You start.
I
can't
believe
this
got
greenlit.
Yay!
Woo!
That's so crazy. But yeah, so thank you all for tuning in, and if you made it this far, God bless. This is a lot of fun. I like the summer sessions. I like the format. I like
cool.
It feels more casual. I'm literally sitting in my bed in Florida.
Fair.
It's like
I want people to know
seconds from pouring.
I moved to a second location to film this. I put a lot of work into
before we started like recording, and I was like, "Where the hell are you?"
I'm at my ex-stepdad's basement.
That's incredible.
Because my home was too loud. I was like, I need to make sure, insane. Like, yeah. I go hard for summer sessions. I don't fuck around with this show, Nick. Okay.
But and no, please, I'm happy with it. But in my room right now in Florida, I have mostly all like Disney decorations for obvious reasons. But the one thing that's not Disney is I have our summer sessions poster.
No, but do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's sick.
It's really cool. But anyways, yeah, thank you all for listening.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. First episode of summer session.
Really, really happy to announce that next week, tune in. You're going to want to tune in for this one, people, because just as of, and I don't even think you know this, because I don't think I told you this, just as of like an hour and a half ago, right before we started recording this.
Oh, I don't know this.
We officially locked a very special guest for next week. We are recording our episode on the movie Robots.
Yes.
Which is a movie that I have extreme nostalgia for. And by the grace of God, we have a very special guest. His name's Ron Mita. Now, Ron is the writer of the film.
Dude, we got the writer of Robots.
We have the writer of a movie we're covering on the show coming on the show next week. So next week, make sure to tune in because we're going to have a very special interview coming your way.
Which is wild. We got the writer of Robots. What the fuck?
It's crazy.
Our little heavy-winning show over here.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, tune in. Thank you all for listening to the Summer Sessions, Episode 1. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you for Robots.
Bye-bye!